MAME play Tron. This is our next repair. This is pretty awesome. All right. Stop moving and adjust the gun. Kind of epic. Can't get on my lap right now, boo-boo. There you have it. Without further ado, let's get into this repair. Hey guys, welcome back to the next episode of Classic Arcade Repairs. This is Sean here with you, and today, next in the queue is a Tron board set, and I guess it comes with some sound issues. Yeah, I think there was some sound problems or something with this, so I got the amp and the board set. And first thing I did was I look at this, and it looks like, okay, it's been recapped, rebuilt a little bit. Maybe these have been put onto these heat sinks. So far so good. Turn it around on the back, and look at the, I mean, the solder job. That one's definitely got a short right there. And these have crack joints. I mean, look how bad those are. Every one of those is a cracked solder joint. And then coming down to this connector, it doesn't look like every one of them is, but that one is. I think that one is. That one I believe is cracked. Yeah, pretty bad. So we'll have to clean this up, and I'm going to go through and just make sure nothing's shorted. Reflow these connectors. I could almost probably pull these right out. I mean, they move. Those are terrible. Okay. So I think first thing I'm going to do is with my setup, my amp, because I know my amp, my dual amp like this is nicely rebuilt and everything, and it's not a problem. So I think I'll hook this up with my amp and see if the sound works good. This might just be a redoing this. I'm not sure. We'll have to see if this thing shorting out and blowing up might have taken out the 12 volt inductor. I don't know. We'll have to check it out. So let's get to it. Alright, well, I have reworked the amp, kind of redid the soldering, and I just used some flux and a little solder to straighten it out and make sure all the joints are made good. Like these ground plane solder joints, like right here, over here, and this guy right here, they were not soldered good. So I made sure to solder those good. I re-soldered these guys. Reflowed, I should say. Yeah. And redid all of the joints that were done on the new caps. So this thing should be good to go. There's no shorts or nothing, and unless there's something internally blown out on these from that, you know. We'll see. But it's good to plug in and test now. So we'll go ahead and do that. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hook this up to my amp, like I said, and then we'll use this one. Then we'll try that amp and see what happens. Alright, so I have it all hooked up on my amp. You see, there's my MCR amp, and it is hooked up to my MCR power supply thing, which is hooked up to my switcher, and which is hooked up to this monitor. Is it frozen? I think it's frozen. try a reset. It was running a minute ago. No, it is not. Yeah, it's just stuck right there. It's stuck on that screen. Okay. Alright, so I think what I'll do is I'm just going to disconnect this board. And with this board disconnected, this game will run, but the screen will be flipped upside down, but it'll run. So I'm going to do that. I think the problem is this board altogether. But we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect it. Be right back. And there's no sound, by the way. This board is not working. There's no sound at all. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, I just went ahead and disconnected those. And it gave me soundboard interface error, but it is running. And it's upside down. It's confused. It doesn't know whether it wants to be in cocktail mode or not, so it's, yeah. And there's a portion of the screen where the tank will go down and it'll disappear. Or there'll be nothing on it. It's just completely jacked up like this. So, yeah. Alright. Unless it's frozen up again. Which it looks like it's frozen up again. So it looks like there is a CPU board issue as well, because it keeps locking up. It keeps freezing. And that could be socket issue. That could just be CPU or ROM sockets or something like that. Who knows? Well, we'll have to take a look at it. I'm going to say that there's nothing logically wrong with either the video or the CPU board. It's probably just connections. So, yeah. That would be my guess. So, I guess without further ado, I should just take this whole stack apart. So, let's start looking at it. And see, this thing just reset. And now it's going to stay right here. And now it's going to run. Soundboard interface error. Yeah, so it's weird. And it's locking up right here now. Okay. And now it is going again. Anywho. Yeah, so let's go ahead and tear this thing apart and see what we're looking at. Okay, I'm just taking this apart, and now that might just be a ground and a bus of grounds. So it might not matter, but goodness. Looks like it's got a free play ROM in it and a aftermarket type RAM. And I don't, okay. All right. This one's coming apart. See that? See that there? That's why I don't like these. These things are cheesy. These things are super cheesy. Yeah. Okay. And this one up here. coming apart. Those need to be replaced. That could be the reason why this thing freezes. It could be bad cables. Yeah, these cables are junk. So, alright. So we'll go ahead and look everything over really good. This one looks like it's coming apart too. See it at the end? Yeah. I'll probably end up replacing every one of these because these are just not, they're not good. They're not good. So, alright. Okay, well, let's go ahead and I want to look at this, and I want to look at this guy right here and make sure that's actually an inductor. You know. So that's the 12 volt input. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I don't see anything obviously blown up on here. I need to really scrutinize this board right here, make sure none of these, and I'll go through and I'll beep them all out, make sure all these tantalums, these bullet caps, make sure none of them are blown out. Okay. Alrighty, well, let me go ahead and carefully, I push these off. I push them off like this. I put my screwdriver on here and I push them off. I don't pull these by the cable. You can't do that because they'll come apart. That's obviously why these are coming apart, is because they were pulled on, you know, trying to get them off. You got to take these, you got to put a screwdriver on here and push them off, which is not exactly easy, but just kind of work the thing off like that. That's how you got to get those off. So, all right, we'll be back. Okay, yep, I put my meter across this guy. Check continuity because should be continuity. There should be a short across. It should be short across these, and you can see this one's burnt up. It blew out. So this is open. I need to replace that, and I have tons of these things. This one's burnt up, but it is good. It's not open, so that'll be okay. But that one definitely needs to be replaced. That's why the soundboard wasn't doing anything, because that's your 12 volt input that goes directly to the soundboard through the cables. So we'll go ahead and replace that, and while I'm at it on this board right here, I'm going to reseat everything. I'm going to look at all of the legs, and I'm going to determine whether I need to replace these sockets or not. These are junk. These sockets suck. After 40 years, they just don't want to work. So, for the most part, sometimes, no, they're always junk. So, okay, let me go ahead and do some work on this board. I'm going to replace that guy, lift all of these ROMs out of here, and see how it's looking. Alright, I had it all hooked up, and I had this board hooked up, and it immediately started to smoke. So I shut it right down, and it's running good right now. No flaking out, no stopping, no freezing anymore. I got all of these sockets replaced. I've reflowed all of the headers. on this board and this board and this board, all of the headers. We have a short on this board on the 12-volt line. One of these tantalum caps is shorted. It's got to be what it is. So these two boards are good to go because we're looking good. And the good news is I did hear the sound amp pop. So that tells me the sound works. There's a short on this board. And I'm going to just take my meter and go across all of the tantalum caps until I find the short. So I'll go ahead and do that. This one was the culprit. It was shorted out. This one would beep shorted, and this one over here would beep shorted. So I had to just clip them all until the short went away. And it ended up being that one right there was the real culprit. It does not look burned up or anything. They just internally short. That's what these things do. They don't exactly just burn up. They just go short. It's weird. So I'm going to replace those three that I clipped. And this thing I would suspect will be good to go. Alright, I've got this thing back together. Turn it off. And we'll go ahead and fire it up. Alright, it's looking good. Let's go ahead and coin. And it froze up. This thing's freezing. And honestly, I think it's ROM. This thing has a free play ROM on it. This has a free play ROM on it, and I just don't like those. I mean, those things are flaky. So I think it's either that free play ROM or it has a bad ROM. So we'll have to go ahead and see what's going on with this thing. I did notice that one of the ROMs didn't look like the same set. It's kind of strange. So yeah, but it's freezing up. So what I'm going to do is check the ROMs. I'm not going to put the fluke on it. I think I'm just going to dump the ROMs. And yeah, just dump the ROMs and see what ROM ident says they are. Alright, I went ahead and I burnt the proper D2 because for troubleshooting purposes, I want a good regular set of ROMs. There's the free play ROM over there, and it's on, and it did freeze up again. And if you reset it, it doesn't reset. It shouldn't. It just will hang up right here. Yes. So there is something failing on the CPU PCB. Yeah. That's funny. I just messed with the crystal, pushed on the crystal, and it came back to life. That's really weird. I'll wait and see if this thing freezes again, and then I'll do the same thing. I'll just press on that crystal. It just froze. And I'm messing with the crystal and it isn't doing anything. That was just a... I'm going to go ahead and reset. And it is hung up. And now it's starting on its own. Some funkiness going on here. Weird. Okay, well, it just reset on its own. First thing I want to eliminate is this thing. This processor right here. I have some of these in other boards. I'm going to swap one in here and see if that makes a difference. Because, yeah, let's just eliminate that guy. It started back up. See, it'll freeze. It'll freeze up. Froze. Okay. Interesting. And it restarted. It actually didn't look like it went through the reboot. It just flashed right to that. That's weird. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to swap a different one of these processors in there and see if it still does the reset and stuff. I'll be back. All right, I've had it on for a good long time now without any problems. And what it was that first thing I tried. Sometimes you get lucky. This processor. That guy right there. I've got his free play ROM back in it. This is the one, the D2 that I burnt. Although I put his free play ROM in there, it doesn't say free play. Maybe there's dip switch settings that you have to put. I don't really know. But yeah, I've got the stack together. Oops. I've got good, reliable connectors on it. That'll never give a problem. So let's just go ahead and I'll set this guy here. We'll play a game or two, or one game anyway. About one game. I can't test the spinner because I don't have a spinner. So I just take it for granted that the spinner circuitry is good. There's, I hope so. I don't have a way to test the spinner. I don't have the hardware, the spinner hardware. But anyway. Yeah, I can't just hit coin to play a game. I have to coin it up. And the free play ROM is in it. It must be dip switch settings. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I can't beat this. I can't aim. Alright, we'll stay away from that. Let's do that. Try that again. That was ridiculous. That was a very poor effort on my part. Yep, sometimes you get lucky. The first thing I tried, that little Z80 CTC processor, I'm not even sure exactly what that does. I'd have to look. I think it controls the non-volatile RAM. I think. Yeah. So I still have to test this customer's sound amp, which, if you remember, I went through and fixed all of the solder on it. So I'll go ahead and plug that in and be right back. Okay, let's go ahead and move this guy. Turn that off. Sound amp. Okay. Goes like that. I'll set this amp right here. Plug in the speakers to it. Alright. Okay. And it's all hooked up. The customer's sound amp is now hooked up, so let's go ahead and fire it up and watch for smoke. Alright, I heard it pop. Good, 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 good. Quick run through, make sure it's sounding good. Sounds good to me. Yep, it works fine. Very good, very good. Thanks a lot. I can't win this. I can't do it. Game over. Game over. Suicide mission. Kamikaze. Ah! All right. All right. Tron stack along with sound amp. All right, guys. I'll let this one run for a handful of hours. As always, I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah, and by the way, here's those caps I replaced. The two there and that one there. Alright. And we replaced all of these junk connectors that were falling apart. So, very good, very good. Alright guys, I will see you on the next repair. Check me out over on Patreon and all that good stuff. Alright, peace out guys. Thanks a lot. See you next time.